Happy Mother's Day again. All right, and so I have, believe it or not, Mother's Day message. Yay! And today we're going to be focusing on mothers, okay, in the Bible, just a few of them. And I gave my lesson this title, Things Don't Have to Start Well in Order to End Well. And I hope to bring encouragement to all of you, okay, about this, because, so many of us, we go through a lot, right? And then we give up and we think, how is this all going to turn out? Well, I want to encourage you. But first of all, just some words of gratitude for moms. Now look at this cartoon, I like this one. All right, Mom, we've hired a few people to fill you in for you while you relax on Mother's Day. Isn't that nice? Yeah. But that is true, isn't it? The amount of work a mom does. And it's so easy to forget. We have 2 kids, and recently we went to England. My daughter lives there now. She's now a mom of 2. And just watching her move all over the place and change the diapers and do this feeding, bathing, all that. I forgot how much work we used to do, especially Karen. And I just realized, wow, moms, they do a lot. Okay? And here's another thing I received. This was based on fairly credible research here. Moms, okay, you see that? Here's the thing I want to focus on. They did all this calculation. Moms, they should earn $100,480 per year for all the jobs that they do. Outside of work. That is how much you should get paid for the hours. Mothers in agreement? More. Per year. For being an incredible mom. Okay? It's amazing, okay, how much moms do. And I hope that's not a day that I feel is set aside and should be celebrated like Mother's Day. All right, so I have a lesson here, and I thought I would start with the genealogy. Genealogies are not exactly the most exciting passages in the Bible to read, are they? Okay, so this is the genealogy of Jesus, Messiah, son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac, Isaac father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers, Judah the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar. Okay, we move on. All right, do you notice something that's a little different? I mean, Abraham also had a mom. Well, why wasn't Abraham's mother mentioned? Isaac had a mom too, right? What about Jacob? But then when you hit Perez and Zerah, mother. Well, I thought that was interesting. That kind of caught me of God a little bit. Well, let's carry on. Perez was the father of Hezron, Hezron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Amminadab, Amminadab the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, again, whose mother was Rachel. Boaz, the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. Obed, the father of Jesse, Jesse, the father of King David, David, the father of Solomon, whose mother had been Uriah's wife. Solomon, the father of Rehoboam. And then we move on, and reason why Matthew, this was the genealogy that was written by Matthew. Okay? And I feel the reason why he did that, this is just my own opinion, was because it culminated with Jesus, the mother. See that? And how was Jesus' birth, how did that happen? It was kind of scandalous in a sense. Because Mary was pregnant before she got married to who? Joseph. You see that? It's kind of unusual. And so, in my opinion, Matthew was saying, wait, don't. You need to understand. It wasn't so unusual because there were other mothers who fell into the line of the Messiah that were in worse circumstances. Like, and may I remind you who was Rahab? We're going to get into that later today. A harlot, prostitute. And she was a foreigner. How did she get into this? Are you with me? A harlot, prostitute. Boom! She made her way into the lineage of Jesus. How would you feel if this was your lineage? Did you feel happy? Incredible, I was included. Yeah. And then Ruth, foreigner, Moabite. In fact, in Deuteronomy, God pronounced them enemies. That they shall forever be enemies with God's people. But guess what? She snuck in. Are you with me? So foreigners snuck in, very sinful lives. They turned around, they made it. And then mother of Uriah, like, why did they say Bathsheba? Yeah. You understand? Yeah. Well, I think it was to give credit to Uriah. He was the righteous man, you know. And then it was Matthew's painting. Well, so when you come to Jesus, hey, this is part of God's plan. God always, sometimes we go outside the boundaries and welcome people. People who didn't start well, but ended well. So that's really the point of today's lesson, okay? So 5 mothers were mentioned in this genealogy. And so we're going to just focus on 2. And these 2 were not kings. They started off ordinary people. Just normal women. Rahab and Ruth, okay? They were not daughters of kings. Well, let's focus on Ruth. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, so a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judah. Okay, what happened? And they went to Moab and lived there. Now, Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. And she was left with the 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died. And Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. So husbands died, 2 sons died. Okay, you've got to admit this was difficult. Yes? So for Naomi, this was difficult. I mean, her dreams got shattered. For someone like Naomi, what would be her dream? How would she have liked, how would she have liked, to end? Family. You see that? She would have liked for the 2 sons to have kids, be a grandma, and so disappointed. She was angry. She was bitter. How do I know that? Because in a conversation with Ruth, she said, "Don't call me Naomi," she told her. "Call me who? Mara. Because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has afflicted me. The Almighty has brought misfortune upon me." So in Naomi's mind, who caused all this? Did God really cause it? Difficult question, okay? And there's a lot of debates about it. Some people say, well, Naomi should never have gone to the land of Moab in the first place. That was God's enemy. What the heck are you doing going there? And that is a good point. You see that? But if you ask Naomi, she would say, well, there was a famine. What do you expect us to do? Now, she was in Jerusalem, right in the heart of God's people. But there wasn't at that time a migration of God's people to the land of Moab. Well, certainly it was never recorded. So I think this was probably an independent decision. Okay, she went there, and things got rough. I mean, and then it just got very difficult. And she said, at least she admitted, I'm bitter. Okay, what is bitterness? What's the difference between bitterness and anger? You want to have a go? And anger.
Anger comes and goes, bitterness is long-term, stays there.
I like that. Anger comes and goes. Bitterness stays. Okay. Any other thoughts? Anger and bitterness.
Bitterness is like, has resentment tied to it in like a dehumanizing, I hate you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then
Well, an anger may not even be a sin necessarily, because ours is anger and it's not a sin.
right,
Whereas bitterness is letting the bitter root grow up in you, so.
right, right. Okay. So how long must anger stay before it becomes bitter? So first of all, I'll agree. Okay, anger, prolonged anger, if it stays because of what? Perceived injustice or hurt or injury, it turns into bitterness. That's the main difference. Anger is short-lived. Bitterness is, it just stays. But what is the time? When do you have to, how long must anger stay before you turn into bitterness? Any thoughts? You need to know that, right? Come on. And you know what? Experts are there to come up with a time frame. I want to introduce them. You want to take a guess? 2 days. If that's the case, I think all of us are bitter. Anyone else?
A week.
A week.
A day.
A day.
6 months.
6 months. I hear now rolling into months. 3 months. I don't know how experts come up with it. They say at least 3. Okay? And it's, what is bitterness? Remembering unpleasant event many times may not be your own fault. It may. Okay? Obsessing over one's injuries or outrage can make a person feel better than, or, here's the thing, morally superior to the source of their wrongs. Sometimes it's that, you know, you hurt me, how can you do this? And that's like a, you know, you come across like you're more superior morally. And here's the other thing, it affects your mood negatively. See that? And at least, according to today's experts, 3. So I just want to throw that so that you can understand what this is about. Naomi was bitter. She's like, anybody and read it, okay? And this is what he says. The story of bitterness usually flows like this. Number one, allowing hurts to endure for a very long time, which is what we established, at least 3 months. Number two, blaming others. And then number three, he says, usually we change our stories to justify ourselves. You see that? And so this whole thing loops around. So first time it hurts, then you loop back to number one. Then 2, 3, then you loop back to number 1, 2, 3, loop, 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 loop. And at the end of the day, some parts of the story change. And what you remember, according to Dr. Laskin, is just the parts you choose to remember. And the parts you choose are the parts you want to justify yourself. And the whole book, what was so remarkable about the book, it talks about the cost we pay for being bitter. It's huge. It's huge. It's not worth it. I read it, I'm like, it's not worth it. I was talking, I got a call from England, London, and one brother said to me, I need your help, I need your help. He's someone I know, he's for years. He said, can you help this person? Our entire group is trying to help this individual become. I said, okay. It was, I was in a different time zone, it was difficult. So finally I got in touch with him and I did Zoom. I had a Zoom session. And I said, tell me what is your issue? He said, I just keep having this nightmare, this pain about something that happened 40 years ago. I said, tell me what it is. He said, and then he started to get a reaction even as he was telling me. And then he said, there was a woman that I liked when I was at campus. I liked her, but I was too shy to tell her I liked her. But I can tell she liked me. And then one day she just made a move, to take our relationship to the next level. And I didn't say anything. And I lost her. And I was like, okay, and then what happened? I thought it was going to end up with a murder. I said, okay, and then? He said, that's it. I said, I regretted it. And I said, trace back. You know how many years it was? 40 years ago. Wow. What did that do to you? He didn't get me. And when I talked to him, he kept talking about that event, that day when she asked me, I shouldn't. I said, so 40 years you were carrying this? He said, you know what I told him? It's time to land your airplane. Have you ever been on a flight that got delayed up in the air?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. There was one flight, I was about to land in Singapore. The flight, literally, I could see the runway. I had a window seat, I could see, I was like, so it was a grueling schedule in Indonesia. So I was so happy to come home. And we literally touched down, and then I heard the throttle, and then the airplane took off again. In mid-air, pilot said, we cannot land because there was a sudden gush of wind. And for safety reasons, we have to circulate. Oh my goodness. All right, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, 45 minutes. Everybody was getting agitated, They were pressing the bell. When are we going to land? That was the question. Come on, man! Finally, the pilot made a decision. No, we're not going to land. We're going to go to the nearest airport. They had much better weather. And so we flew 2 hours. We went to another little city in Indonesia. We landed there. We waited in the airport for another 2 hours. Got back. Flew back to Singapore. again. He said, sorry. Honestly, the level of anxiety among the passengers, they were so agitated. So he went off, did another, another circuit, and then finally he landed. And when he landed and stopped the plane, there was a shout. Yeah! We landed! And I remember feeling the release, the relief. And I think some of us, we have to land our thoughts of bitterness. Because what is bitterness? You go back. You see? It's prolonged anger. It stays. It turns into resentment. And for some of us, you don't want to land it. And with this person, I'll come back to him. I said, you need to land this. And you know what? He's like, I don't know. I don't think I can change. I'm like, well, why? Because it's trauma. I said, yeah, I know, but you gotta land this. And finally, after like 5 sessions, I came up with a plan with him to help him. I came up with a plan to overcome. And he's now finally cooperating. We're going to land it. And I said, because yours is so deeply entrenched, I want you to see so-and-so in person. From me to you, through Zoom, is not going to work. You need to see, someone needs to hold your hand on you. It's like, why? I said, because you've been circulating so much wrong. You go 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to take work to that. So I just want to ask you right now, what deep belief, we talked about trauma, what deep belief you have right now, okay? Your homework was to identify that. I hope, now that you identify it, you'll go to land it. Work with us, work with the church. We want you to land, okay? Make it happen. Now, Naomi changed. I love this woman. She was bitter, I give her that. Come on, cut her some slack, Then Ruth went to work in a field near Jerusalem. And what happened? She managed to glean some grain. And she brought that harvest to Naomi. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, the person who allowed Ruth to glean the farm, said, he is not showing his kindness to the living and dead children. That man is our close relative. He's one of our guardian redeemers. Wow. And so basically, Naomi brought some grain, okay? Ruth, to Naomi and said, look, God's blessing. And Naomi said, who's it from? Boaz. Things changed. Her tone changed from them. Now, here's the thing. You know how much grain she brought? I'm bringing this to you. If you fill it up with water, 30 pounds. 30 pounds, okay? You understand? It's pretty heavy, right? Mothers, can you lift it? Melanie's like, I work out every day. No, 30 pounds. Okay? I'm getting older. I think I can lift it. So I didn't want to bring a full one. But you fill it up. It gets pretty heavy, but what I'm trying to tell you is this was what changed Naomi. Just this. So, someone gave this to you. Would that be enough to land your thoughts? Would that be enough to change? Are you with me? For some of us, no. To change your bitterness, the sky must split open. You know what I'm saying? I want the angels to come down. And I want a procession. Are you with me? I want everyone to roll the drum, and say how sorry we are. Hey. That's right. And it was a kindness from Boaz. Kindness can do the trick. Okay? So those of us in this church, guys, we've got to help each other. Are you with me? We've got to help each other in the small group. I want the next few weeks we're going to keep talking about it. But let's fight for each other. Notice I said fight for, not fight against. Fight for. See that? Help each other's negative belief to laugh. We can do it. Let's learn from these beautiful women. And who was the hero here? It was Ruth. Now I want to share with you a story. See that woman here? She's a mom. I look like a giant in front of her. Hey, what are you laughing at? But that was me in London a few weeks ago, after I had my little operation. And there was Veronica. She's like this tall. And she was at my daughter's place cleaning up. My daughter would pay her. And my daughter said, Dad, you gotta talk to her. She has the most incredible life. And so I did. I said, tell me, Veronica, what happened? It was, she moved to the UK from Hong Kong. And she has now a 15-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son. Married in 2006, husband died in 2010 from an unusual medical condition. And she never went to university. All income went. And she had 2 kids, and her son was autistic. Father, only sole breadwinner. You know what she did? She went from house to house among the church members to clean. He said, can I clean it? And I said, okay. Thank you for telling me that. I said, how much do you clean? How many hours? 60 hours a day. I said, what? I have to. I said, John, I've got bills to pay. I've got 2 kids. I've got to send them through to university. I don't want them to be. But here's the most amazing thing. She was happy. I said, can I have your testimony and permission to share and photo? She said, not now. I'm busy cleaning. Next week. And I had a moment with her. I said, can you write to me a testimony? Not now. Busy cleaning. She's so cute. So joyful. She had the heart, of Naomi. Just little, and she sees God's kindness. And she persevered. And here was what happened. Her daughter got baptized, single mom. And she helped another friend from Hong Kong come. They got baptized. And she was just so fruitful and happy. And when she was telling me her story, she's like, I'm so grateful. Grateful? So grateful. God did this, God did this, God did this. I miss my husband. She said, every night I sing a song. Of gratitude flow. Okay? It's enough. sky to split open, to be grateful. Gratitude and forgiveness can do a lot. All right, let's move on to the next mom. Who was that? Did you know that? Oops, sorry. Okay, that Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed the father of Jesse. Jesse father of David. Okay, interesting. Who was the mother of Boaz? That's really cool. It's actually Rahab. See that? Boaz the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth.
Look at the one right above.
Sorry, mother.
Yeah.
Second was the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. I didn't even know that. Wow. Can you see what's happening here? So the second mom. Let's talk about the second mom. Who was this Rahab? Prostitute. What did she do? She hid 2 spies of God's people, right? And you know what she said? I heard about your God. I heard that your God parted the Red Sea and did all these great things. I want to believe in your God. May I believe in your God? And the spy said, okay. Shake hands. So she hid them from the people, from the ruler of her land who were after the spies. Anyway, long story short, the spies got away. And then she said, how do I know you're going to come back and spare my life? She knew their God, as in Jehovah God, would come back and take the land. They said, tie a what? Scarlet robe and leave it hanging like this. And so, when God's people attacked, they left Rahab's house intact. And then she lived with God's people for that. She made it into the lineage of Jesus. Incredible. Did she start well? No. But how did she end? As we say, not a time. She ended. See that? What about Ruth and Naomi? When they came to Jerusalem, in the words of Naomi, it was empty. How did they end? That's the Mother's Day message for you. No matter where you're at, let's learn from the moms in the Bible. Okay? They were in difficult circumstances. They made bad choices, bad decisions. But look where they ended up. I hope this message helped you. Let's now have a time of a closing song. Thank you.